When we're doing parenting plans in mediation, oftentimes what we have to discuss and what we have to figure out is where the party's going to live after they separated. Who's going to live where? Where do the kids go to school? Each parenting plan is customized for the particular parties, the needs of the kids. For all we know, one kid may be a gifted ice skater, one kid maybe needs special help in reading. So we have to make sure that the parties are able to really get the most out of parenting, and that the kids are benefiting from it and that's not harming the kids in any way. So we really have to look at what the kids' schedules are, any particular needs, most importantly where the parties are living, also what's the desire of the parties and what's the party's work schedule. But everyone has to be customized to the particular needs of the parties. In custody disputes, everybody has to keep in mind that there's two different kinds of custody. There's what we refer to as legal custody, and then there's physical custody. It's also called parenting time, visitation schedule, sole legal custody. We have all these expressions, but the bottom line is we usually try to separate out the legal custodian the joint legal custody is the standard in the law, and what that means for the parties. Now the fight is really over the parenting time. So what I like to do when I'm mediating is I like to start with legal custody, because when people hear that, I think they understand both parents are important, and we also need the parties to focus on the needs of the children. Sometimes people look at their kids like, this is my kid, and I'm going to only let you have this kid on certain times. And that's not the way the law looks at the kids. When you focus the attention on the child and say it's really the right of the child to be parented by both parents, and both parents might have different parenting styles, then it kind of switches the focus a little bit so people really understand we need to get the most out of the parenting as we can from the child, because the truth of the matter is the kid really does benefit. And most importantly, the child benefits when the parents aren't fighting. We have to get these parents to not fight in front of the children. When these children see these horrible exchanges and the parents just can't keep it together, we have to make the snide remarks or side eyes, as some of the judges say to us. It's horrific for a child to see that. It's horrific for a child to be on stage doing a performance and look out in an audience and see on the left side is mom and on the right side is dad, and they just can't even sit next to each other. How is that child supposed to feel? So the role of the mediator is to really express these things and sometimes tell war stories, sometimes war stories ad nauseum to the parties so that they really understand you are hurting your child. We need to get you back on board with this, and we need to get you to understand this from the perspective of the child. Part of our goal in mediation when we're doing parenting plans is to help the parties so that they're able to effectively communicate with one another in the future. And that is something that our program has nothing but experienced litigators, experienced mediators, experienced judges. That's all we have is our mediators. But that is something that I firmly believe comes with experience, because you get a sense of people. You don't just ask them, but you get a sense of people. And when you're figuring out what might work best for these people, sometimes it might be that we only communicate by text. Sometimes it might, unless there's an emergency, of course, sometimes it might be we only communicate by email. But I always look at my role as the mediator as trying to assist these parties so that there isn't that animosity and so that we can have these conversations. So one parent's late one day, or, oh my God, my mother's coming in town. Do you mind if I keep the kids later tonight? The answer to that question should be sure. Yes, no problem. Kids want to see their grandmom. Or, dad's running an hour late after school. It's okay. I'll take them. I'll pick them up. Things are going to happen in your life. And the more that you're able to resolve those with your partner, with your co-parenting partner moving forward, the better off you're going to be. So I look at it as our role as the mediators, and to personalize it, my role as a mediator, to help parties understand that we reap what we sow, we give what we get what we give. That really means something in these co-parenting relationships, because there are going to be problems and you don't want to set yourself up for failure. We try to educate these parties so that the parties are willing to move forward and to continue to have positive, productive co-parenting relationships. Mediation is a much better way to protect children because it's so personalized that we can really get to the root of things. in a litigation environment where kids might be subject to best interest evaluations, have to go to psychiatrists, where one parent often is accusing the other parent of trying to negatively influence or alienate the child. We really try to avoid that. The whole purpose of, in reading these child studies, which I do because I'm a little bit of a geek, but in reading these child studies, what we know is we don't screw children up by divorce. We screw children up when we fight about the divorce. And the idea is not really on the children, and it shouldn't be the kid has to go to a therapist. Most of the time, it's the parents. They need to figure out how to stop fighting with each other and how to love your children more than you hate the other side. Once you realize that every time I bad look the father of the children, or every time I refuse to speak to the mother, at the sports or whatever I'm at, every time I'm snide with them or I make a snide remark, that hurts the kid. That absolutely 100% hurts the child. How is the child supposed to feel? When you think about it from the standpoint of the kid loves both parents. The kid, you don't win because the kid loves mom more than the kid loves dad. Nobody wins in that. And nobody gets that love because that always backfires when parents try to do that. Our job in mediation is to try to educate the parents for this. How would you feel? And what I say to parents, how would you feel if somebody insulted your child and you had to stand there and do nothing about it? How is that child supposed to feel when somebody insults the parent? It's terrible to put your child in that situation. And you better learn how to bite your tongue. If you can't do it, then you go see a therapist. We're not sending the kid to a million therapies. We're not having the kid go testify in front of a judge or speak to a guardian ad litem or do a supervised parenting. Why are we doing that to the child when it's you as the parent who really needs the help? It's our job in mediation to really express that to the party so that they understand nobody wants to hurt the child. You're only going to further hurt them in litigation. If you have any questions about how we can handle child-related issues, parenting time plans, custody, please feel free to take a look at any of the videos in our video library, or feel free to give us a call or contact us through the website.